Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantika Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utam Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Sajivam Sadavaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamsya Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityananda Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirabhishesha Shunnavadi Pashyati Deshitarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauravashe Namaha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shirada Kanta Namostate Taptakanchana Gauranga Shirade Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhaiva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Panhum Nangayate Yatkripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam 6:11 today. Suchau Deshe Pratisthapya Sthiramasanamaatmanah Nati Ucharitam Nati Nicham Chailajana Kushottaram Tatraikagram Manah Kritva Yata Chittendriya Kriyaha Upavishyasane Yunjya Yogamatma Vishuddhaye. To practice yoga, one should go to a secluded place and should lay kusha grass on the ground and then cover it with a deer skin and a soft cloth. The seat should neither be too high nor too low and should be situated in a sacred place. The yogi should then sit on it very firmly and practice yoga to purify the heart by controlling his mind, senses and activities, and fixing the mind on one point. Sacred place refers to the place of pilgrimage. In India, the yogis, the transcendentalists, or the devotees all leave home and reside in sacred places such as Prayag, Mathura, Vrindavan, Rishikesha, Haridwar, and in solitude practice yoga, where the sacred rivers like Yamuna and the Ganges flow. But often this is not possible, especially for Westerners. The so called yoga societies in big cities may be successful in earning material benefit, but they are not at all suitable for the actual practice of yoga. One who is not self controlled and whose mind is not undisturbed cannot practice meditation. Therefore, in the Brihad Naradiya Puran, it is said that in Kali Yuga, the present Yuga or age, when people in general are short lived, slow in spiritual realization, and always disturbed by various anxieties, the best means of spiritual realization is the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nasti Eva, Nasti Eva, Nasti Eva, Gatiranyata. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. The same effect of running away from distractions is realized by adding positive absorptions in one's life. Here in Ashtanga Yoga description, we can see how the entire setting of an Ashtanga Yogi is so meticulous. A yogi should sit in a kushabras. Kushabras with a deer skin, soft cloth. The seat should not be too high, too low. It should be kept in a sacred place. So, in a simple but firm or stable way, one should be situated in the positive vibrations. So, this is the point actually. The point is that one needs to make a seat in a sacred place. One needs to make a seat in a sacred place. Fix a seat delicately, meticulously in a sacred place. Why? Because sacred place, the spiritual vibrations are very strong. And if you have a proper seat in a spiritual place, that means you have ensured that you will be hit or affected by the spiritual vibrations. So this principle being highlighted is very important for every sadhaka as well. One should fix his place in spiritual vibrations. That is the point. Obviously, Srila Prabhupada is bringing about the aspect that in this age, only the chanting of the holy names can create that sacred atmosphere. The holy dham, residing in a holy dham may not be practical for everyone. But what is practical is to chant. Prabhupada explains that. So therefore, it is very important for every sadhaka, on the first note actually, to make sure that he fixes his position, his role in the Sankirtan mission. Because if we do not fix it, then there is no guarantee that we will be getting a continued spiritual dosage. But if we fix it, we are sure to get a continued spiritual dosage. That is the idea. We have to fix our roles. We have to meticulously but firmly orient our lives that we have some service, we have some role wherever there is spiritual intensity in the preaching mission. Then only you will be surrounded with positive spiritual vibrations. It's just like that Brahman who came to Lord Chaitanya's house and who was being requested by Jagannath Mishra and then later by Vishnu to make offerings for his Gopalji. So Lord Chaitanya was eating the offerings. First time, second time, third time, midnight. But then when Lord Chaitanya revealed his darshan to him, the Brahman realized here is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here is the Gopal whom I am always worshipping. So it is explained this Brahmana would never stay at any one place. He would be roaming around. But after he came to understand this Lord Chaitanya, he never left Navadip. Every single day, he used to be around to watch the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. So the point is that when he understood here is the Supreme Lord, he fixed himself there. The principle of roaming around is so that you don't get attached to any one place. You don't fix yourself to any one material place. That's a principle. But if you get the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then you can fix yourself to one that place. Is it not? That's the idea. So wherever there are opportunities for heavy and intense spiritual vibrations, we should make sure that we we strive hard to get some role, to get some absorption. Just like our Calcutta Rath Yatra. Unfortunately, this year we don't know, it may not happen. But Calcutta Rath Yatra. So you see, the point is there is so much service, there's so much mercy, there's so much association, everything is there. So we should make sure that we make ourselves available for doing some service at that time. We fix our place. So meticulous details are mentioned here. It says the seat should not be too high, the seat should not be too low. For an Ashtanga yogi, if the seat is too high, one will start doing sightseeing. The seat is too high. So the seat can be moderately high. So many principles which are mentioned in this particular section now, how an Ashtanga yogi should orient himself, many of these principles are quite helpful for a devotee as well. The principles can be applied to devotional service also. So now when it is talking about seat, actually, we have to understand, see, basically seat is about, okay, uh, it's just like if you are performing yogasanas. If you perform yogasanas on the hard ground, it is a little painful for the bones. It's a little painful. But if you take a foam and then perform yogasanas, then it becomes easier. It becomes a little peaceful. So, uh, but if instead of a foam you use a dallop, uh, then there'll be no yogasana. There'll be only nidrasana. Is it not? There'll be only nidrasana, not yogasana. Is it not? So the point to note is that when the talk of seating is happening, the point here to note is that yes, to be seated in anything, situated in anything, we need a certain amount of comforts. We need a certain amount of facilitation. So how to choose that? What is being told is that very meticulously you have to create a balance. It should not be too much, should not be too less. So comforts, if it is zero, it will be very difficult. Is it not? Just like say for example, if one says, okay, I will not put electricity only, it will save money, then it becomes very difficult, is it not? If you don't have electricity, it will be very difficult, is it not? So very austere, very difficult will be. So some basic things are required, is it not? But it should not be too much. So it's just like prasad. How much prasad to take? So one has to very meticulously and gently, but very alertly, decide that. So how much prasad to take? How is that question solved? Suppose one feels that okay, let me. Uh, so one option is you fill the plate, is it not? अरे ले लेता हूँ ना, पता नहीं बचेगा कि नहीं, is it not? So then it will lead to overeating, is it not? Because you won't realize you're taking so much, is it not? And if you too much eat actually, then you sleep there only, is it not? Prasadam hall only, right? Or the next room to the Prasadam hall, whatever, is it not? So the meticulous principle can be okay. First serving, take little, then decide whether I want to eat more. You want to eat more, take a little more, and a little more, and a little more. Ultimately, even if you take 3 times more servings, then with every serving, person starts feeling more embarrassed. इतना तो खा चुका हूँ ना. But because it is little, 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 it's still under control. But initially, only you take a whole Mount Everest, like that, and then you feel a little, So that's the idea actually. So when we start with little and then see, then add a delta if needed. But we start with everything cozy, comfortable, then it becomes problem. Is it? That's the idea. So one should not run behind fashions in bhakti. One should keep his settings simple. You should keep his settings simple. And therefore, the point is that just adjusting the settings should not be the focus of one's whole day. Like we believe in maintenance and proper management facilitation, but if the whole day goes in just maintaining ourselves, then we are not much better than the materialistic people. So they do the same thing. Their goal of life is maintaining themselves, that only. So our own settings, we have to see that slowly we reduce it. We make it simple, reduce it so that we have some time. We have time for service, for preaching mission. That is the idea, actually. So the point is that here, the pointer is very nicely being described. It says, okay, first go to the sacred place. So first, for a devotee, we may say that, okay, first fix yourself in the association of devotees, first fix yourself in the service. First take that up. Then slowly make your kushagra seat. That okay, it may have some comfort with a deer skin, with a soft cloth, I can peacefully sit, it's not too low, it's not too high, it's peaceful, and I can focus. Text 13. Samam kaya shirogrivam dharayannachalam sthira sampreksha nasikagram swam dishaschanavalokayan prashantatmavigatabhir brahmachari vrate sita manasamyamyamachitto yukta matparaha. One should hold one's body, neck, and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily on the tip of the nose. Thus, with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free from sex life, one should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life. The goal of life is to know Krishna, who is situated within the heart of every living being as Paramatma. The four-handed Vishnu form. The yoga process is practiced in order to discover and see this localized form of Vishnu, and not for any other purpose. The localized Vishnu Murti is a plenary representation of Krishna dwelling within one's heart. One who has no program to realize his Vishnu Murti is uselessly engaged in monk yoga practice and is certainly wasting his time. Krishna is the ultimate goal of life, and the Vishnu Murti situated in one's heart is the object of yoga practice. To realize this Vishnu Murti within the heart, one has to observe complete abstinence from sex life, and therefore one has to leave home and live alone in a secluded place. Remaining seated as mentioned above. One cannot enjoy sex life daily at home or elsewhere and attend a so-called yoga class and thus become a yogi. One has to practice controlling the mind and avoiding all kinds of sense gratification, of which sex life is the chief. In the rules of celibacy written by the great sage Yajnavalkya, it is said, Karmana vanacha vasa sarvavastha sarvada sarvatra maituna tyago brahmacharyam prachakshate. The vow of brahmacharya is meant to keep one, to help one completely abstain from sex indulgence in work, words, and mind at all times, under all circumstances, in all the places. No one can perform correct yoga practice through sex indulgence. Brahmacharya is taught, therefore, from childhood when one has no knowledge of sex life. Children at the age of 5 are sent to Gurukul, or the place of the spiritual master, and the master trains the young boys in strict discipline of becoming brahmacharis. Without such practice, no one can make advancement in any yoga, whether it be dhyana, jnana, or bhakti. One who, however, follows the rules and regulations of married life, having a sexual relationship only with his wife, and that also under regulation, is also called a brahmachari. Such restricted householder brahmachari may be accepted in the bhakti school, but the jnana and dhyana schools do not even admit householder brahmacharis. They require complete abstinence without compromise. In the bhakti school, a householder brahmachari is allowed control sex life because the cult of bhakti yoga is so powerful that one automatically loses sexual attraction being engaged in the superior service of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita 259, it is said, Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjyam rasopiyasya param drishtva nivartate. Whereas others are forced to restrain themselves from sense gratification, a devotee of the Lord automatically refrains because of superior taste. Other than the devotee, no one has any information. Vigatabhi, one cannot be fearless unless one is fully in Krishna consciousness. A conditioned soul is fearful due to his perverted memory, his forgetfulness of his eternal relationship with Krishna. The Bhagavatam says, Bhayam dutiya viniveshatasya. Krishna consciousness is the only basis for fearlessness. Therefore, perfect practice is possible for a person who is Krishna conscious. And since the ultimate goal of yoga practice is to see the Lord within, a Krishna conscious person is already the best of the yogis. The principle of the yoga system mentioned herewith are different from those of the popular so-called yoga societies. One should hold one's body, neck and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. So why straight line? Because if You see, just like in military also they do, many times schools also they do, they have a drill and then they say, okay, attention, and then whatever discourse they have to give, they give in attention pose. Why? Because in attention pose, you cannot pose around. Otherwise, you see people pose themselves in so many ways, is it not? So the consciousness is focused on the pose, how am I standing, how am I, what kind of. So, so here the aspect of pose is taken off, filtered off. It says, okay, erect. And it says tip of the nose. What is there in the tip of the nose? So basically nothing is there in the tip of the nose. Sometimes the yoga shastras also say, okay, meditate in between the two eyebrows, the Agya chakra and all that. So Agya chakra we cannot see, it's not visible. So now the point is that meditate in between the eyebrows. What do you see? You see nothing, is it not? What is there? There is nothing. Because there is nothing, then you can focus inward, is it not? Then you can focus inward. That is the idea. So when we increase the material options for the mind always becomes more and more agitated. And when we close down or shut down material options for the mind immediately becomes peaceful. The option opens, it creates turmoil. Just like we had this, our Sarji Kumar, that our class 5, class 4 student. So the option was there few days back of going home, and therefore some of them were going home. So he was most restless and most agitated because he wanted to go home and he was running out of the door and he was packing his bag and running away. It was a big hole of an exercise to keep a watch on him and to catch him. So, and then he was seeing some people are going. So he was running behind the car which was taking the Purulia students, and and he was crying, wailing, banging his hand on his chest and things like that. So after some time, the option is no more an option. The option closed. Nobody going out, nobody talking about going out. Is it not? Option is closed is very peaceful. Is it not? So this is the point. As soon as the option is closed, person can become peaceful. Or it's just like, no, it's just like we have seen that, okay, when mid-sem, end-sem exams come, our devotees become very focused studies. Option is not there. So they become very focused. Is it not? Other time they have options. So they're chilling out, they're having chit chats, hmm? They're chilling out, they're having chit chat, so on. They're having a gala time. But the option is not there, then the life becomes very peaceful. So in this way, mind should not be given too much options.